From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big noontime here on LALATE with incredible details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. In this recording, we'll be going over that monthly stimulus check, the vote-in start-in, and I'll have all the incredible details you need to know on this noontime broadcast. Then we cut to fifth stimulus, which heats up this fall, and that fifth stimulus has another stimulus check in there, plus raises your benefits up a lifetime, especially if you're on SSI, SSDI, and veterans benefits, as much as 10%. All the breaking news as the Fed Chair, Jay Powell, talks about the situation today and what you need to know going forward. And then we get big money across the board in the middle of this video. Thousands of dollars the viewers continue to get. It's a big day. It's a big noontime. So much exciting details. I'm ready for it. Are you ready? Let's get to it. Noontime LA starts right now. Hey, good noontime, everybody. How are you doing? And I'm live with you, direct from Santa Monica, California, this Tuesday noontime. Hope your weather is good where you are. We're having beautiful weather today. You can tell the sun is coming on in right now. It's wonderful outside, breezy. Hope your weather is good where you are. Jump in the live chat right now and tell me where you're tuning in from. And how's the weather? In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, a lot of breaking news you're going to hear for the first time on noontime. Minutes ago, the voting bill, not this bill, but another bill, is falling apart. And it didn't go to recon, signaling the real oomph and now the focus on just this, the fourth stimulus. We'll be going over the monthly stimulus check, how much those Democrats want you to have, and when they want you to have it. Then we'll be cutting to fifth stimulus, which will have another stimulus check in there. And it'll raise your benefits up a lifetime. And we're seeing Jay Powell testifying on Capitol Hill today. It'll give us more insight about how high your benefits are going to go. They're going high. Then we turn to the big money that viewers continue to get thousands of dollars, $5, $10, $15,000. It's your day to get this money. And this is LALATE, the only 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America, broadcasting across the board, live in the morning and taped in the afternoon. We just finished morning's LALATE and morning's crypto. Next coming up is afternoon's LALATE. That's a big show today. Wow, it's at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, followed by evening's LALATE at 5, and then overnight's crypto, which broke all records last night. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, the fastest growing channel on YouTube. 400,000 subscribers in 1 year. Next stop, 1 million. I want you part of this family. And thank you for yesterday becoming one of our biggest day on subscriber growth. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video. 3,000 likes. Every like delivers you free skincare. I don't know. I'm just trying something new. It delivers a free apricot scrub. Or it also helps in the algorithm ranking the video. And consider becoming a member. Let's get right into that monthly stimulus check and the exciting details across the board. Monthly, yes. Differing from the Senate and House, yes. Monthly payouts different, yes. Let's compare and contrast and understand what's really at issue. Monthly amounts are all sort of different, but we're going to start with the number of checks. There you go. How many checks are at issue? House bill, monthly, pandemic plus 1 year. Senate proposal, monthly, July to December. Then let's go to the payouts. Monthly, House, 1,000. After the first month of 2,000. Senate monthly, unknown, but word on the street is it's this. Wow. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000. That's delicious. $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400 a person. That is savory. But if you're in the live chat just after 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, get ready to vote. House or Senate. House or Senate, tell me where you're tuning in from. But let's go back to this thing. Yeah, that thing. Jalapal's bill, pandemic plus 1 year. Well, the legislators may contend the pandemic's over, which would reduce you to 12 checks over 12 months because there's 12 months in a year. Which would amount to $13,000 from the House bill. Let's compare that to the Senate over 6 months. I think you have an opinion. I think you have an opinion. Jump in the live chat right now and vote House or Senate. House or Senate. Tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. How's the weather where you are? Well, who gets this? Democrats want everyone who got a third stimulus check to get a fourth stimulus check. So if you're a single individual who makes less than $75,000, you would get a fourth stimulus check from those Democrats. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you would get a fourth stimulus check from those Democrats. You would double it. Family of four, you would get a fourth stimulus check from the Democrats, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, congratulations. The Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits. Is the check income? No. So it's not taxable. And the fourth stimulus check is a monthly stimulus check. It is not a waivable check. It does not come in waves. So it cannot wave back at you. So if you're at the nail salon today and getting your nails done, seeing the check and like, hey, check, how's you doing? And the check doesn't wave back at you. It's not because the check is getting its nails done. It's because it's not a waivable check. It's also because maybe the nails are not that nice. So there you go. It's not a waivable check. It's not rude. It just can't wave at you. And a check with nails? I don't know. This is getting interesting. But there you go. That is the first of your 3 parts of your fourth stimulus check update in 2022. In 2021. Sorry, jumped to you there. Coming up in the second part of this video, we go over the second part and the breaking news as Joe Manchin and the Democrats are ready to pass by recon, and they're very ready to pass by recon now. Why so much now at noontime? What just happened for something else for them? I'll be explaining the breaking details minutes ago. But first, let's get a preview of the second half of this video. It's fifth stimulus, and it heats up. Fifth stimulus will raise your benefits up lifetime and also give you a stimulus check. But how high will those benefits go? Well, we're going to get some insight from Jay Powell, your head of the Federal Reserve, who's testifying on Capitol Hill. Again, I'll have all the latest details, and you could be seeing your benefits going up as much as 10% lifetime. That exciting news comes up in the middle of this video. But let's get some money. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday Money Day. Well, we need a good expression for that. It's Taco Tuesday Moolah. I don't know what you would call it Tuesday. But we get money on this channel every day, even when there's no tacos on sale. So let's get over that money. Remember that there's a lot of money available for you to get, and that's what I do on this channel. I give people money. I got viewers $25 million of EIDL loan money in spring of last year, saving their home, their business, and their employees' homes. But then in fall of 2020, we weren't seeing second stimulus go out, and people needed money during the holidays. So I got viewers $250,000, where we're doing it again right now. So get a pen and paper ready, because I'm going to get you a lot of money in this video starting right now. We're going to be covering mortgage, rent, utilities, and homeowners' utilities, and it's a fortune. The rent is about $5,000, about 4 to 6 months of rent. And this is all third stimulus. So get that pen and paper ready. And if it must be a Crayola crown, then at least match my blue shirt. And do not ask me if that's Casey Royals blue, because you don't ask me if it's SDL Cardinals red on Sundays. So I see what you're doing there. Don't try that with me. All right, each place has different eligibility. So if you reach out to one and they don't have your money, don't worry. Or they say no, don't worry, because the next one may say yes. They also have their own pots of money. Let's go over the incredible details. Starting right now, you're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. Rent assistance because of COVID. You don't use words that they don't know. You don't use words they don't know, like stimulus. They don't know that word. And you don't use other words like Nancy's delicious hairstyle. They'll say, excuse me, her? You got the wrong number. Yes. Don't use those words. Congratulations to Tim and Linda who got this big money, and the viewers that continue to get money. If you got a penny from this channel or 100 pennies, jump in the live chat, because it inspires me. It inspires other viewers. Every day we see people jumping in the live chat. Last week we had one viewer get $5,000 for this next pot of money. The week before that, a viewer $6,000 to $7,000. Len Glenn got it for herself, her son, and her mom. And Gail got it as well. What is it? It's SNAP. It's a lot of money. A family of four can get a lot of money for this. What is SNAP? It is money for food. How do you get it? Department of Agriculture. Call them up. Department of Agriculture. How much money can you get? A family of four in Hawaii now gets upwards of $16,000 a year. Wow. Why so much money? Why is that family of four in Hawaii getting $16,000 a year? Because of two wonderful executive orders. One from Biden and one from Trump that raise your benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. You're killing it. We're killing it. Everyone's killing it except this check with the darn nails. We're only 10 minutes in this video, and you've gotten $16,000 for SNAP for a family of four in Hawaii, $5,000 for rent. Well, I got more money for you right now, and it's wonderful. It's about $5,000. One viewer got $5,000 for us. What is it? It's money coming back from the states via the federal government. States had overpaid you unemployment assistance due to computer error. And not your computer, thank you. Your computer works fine. It's their darn computer. So the federal government has ordered the states to return the money back to you. So when are you getting the money? How are you getting the money? Reach out. It will land in the bank account you have on file with your state. When are you receiving the money? When are you receiving the money? Well, reach out to your state that overpaid you due to computer error. When you ask them to track your payment of the refund of that, tell them to use another computer. There you go. All right, so now the last pot of money, and it's the refund of the IRS. A lot of people are getting it, but people still asking in the live chat, has anyone gotten it? They have gotten it. But if you've gotten it, jump in the live chat right now because it reassures more viewers that the money is on its way. It is the refund back of that IRS taxes from 2020. Mike got it. Todd got it. Margaret got it. A lot of viewers have been getting it. So let's go over how much it is, when you're going to get it, and all the details. First, how much? It's a lot. Let's say you had $9,000 of total unemployment benefits. You paid $5,000 of total taxes, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. Congratulations, you're getting back $4,000. Where? Direct deposit if that was on your tax return, otherwise in the mail. When? This month. And can you track it? You can track it. Go to irs.gov, set up a username and password, and go in there, and a transcript search 70% of the time works. You'll be surprised what that transcript search reveals. It will reveal when you file that tax return, when you paid the taxes on that tax return. It will reveal my fettuccine alfredo recipe. It'll reveal where Nancy gets her hair done. And then it'll reveal this check that's coming back from IRS. And there you go. Can we beat that? We can. With the second of your fourth stimulus check updates of 2021, and it starts right now with breaking news at noontime. Breaking news at noontime is that something else, not stimulus, but something else is going down the drain right away. And it's the voting bill from the Democrats. I had told you it was going to die. It was not going to pass. And ironically, this is good news for you, even though people want this bill to pass. It's good to get the bill passed. But the fact that the bill is now ending quickly is good news for you. Number one, all that's left is to do the fourth stimulus package bill. Number two, it gives you more reason to focus on reconciliation because the GOP really desecrated the Democrats on this voting bill. They really just blocked it like a very clear block wall. And so now the Democrats are very amped up. Crypto reference, really amped up to get this fourth stimulus done by recon. And now that the voting right bill, which is a different bill, has now imploded because it was not a recon. So there we go. Now on Sunday, Bernie Sanders talked about the fourth stimulus, and he said, I've not seen a draft of the bill yet, so I don't know a lot of stuff about it. So let me explain something about this, which you're hearing for the first time on Noontime LA. There's a lot of ways to do a recon, and one of the ways that is likely to be this way is the way that Chuck did the third recon, which is the marking up the bill, the editing of the draft of the bill. And when I say marking up the bill, I mean marking up the draft of the bill because it's not done yet. Marking up the draft of the bill. The way that Chuck is likely to do it is to have the House subcommittee take the lead, but have the insight from the Senate subcommittees along the way so that they're working hand in hand. It's great news because it saves time. It's also great news because it prevents delays. How does it prevent delays? Because normally you would send the bill into the Senate and then it would go into Senate subcommittees. But under third stimulus in the spring of this year, Chuck said, we're not doing subcommittees in the Senate. They were already working hand in hand with the House subcommittees. And he also said, because the GOP is trying to delay it ever getting out of the subcommittees, trying to bury it in the subcommittees. So that's likely the path that's going on path. So away we go. The reconciliation process has been underway for several weeks. The reconciliation process will end by July 4th. The voting is starting this week, and the voting can ramp up very quickly in a very short period of time. I'll be going over the voting steps in the third part of this video, but let me go over the exciting details of how we got to the spot with the comments from Jalapa on Friday, which are absolutely incredibly important. Jalapa on Friday, in a double negative sentence, said that the White House has not in any way told me not to do what I'm doing. And then Brian Schatz, Democrat of Hawaii, said the White House has reassured him that the White House considers the progressive policies the White House's own policies. And the White House has not asked progressives to stop doing what they're doing. Let me explain why that's wonderful. The president does not write legislation. He's a president. Presidents don't write legislation. They propose what they want in there. And sometimes they'll say, I want this really in there, and if it's not in there, I'm vetoing it. In the case of two provisions, that's what's happening here. The president has made very clear he must have, one, climate, a progressive policy in there, and two, the CARES economy, which is something to do with medicine in there, and that's also progressive policy. Well, guess what the great news is that the progressives, Jalapa, have told the president, yes, we're putting it in there for you, Mr. President. We like it too, and we got your back. To which the president has said, I got your back, Jalapa, and you can do any other progressive policies you want. And their other progressive policies are, the progressives represent that they're putting the monthly stimulus checks in there as well. Progressives putting the monthly stimulus check in there for themselves, a progressive policy, and putting in the president's climate and CARES economy in there as well, all together pushing them to the finish line. Now, how did we get to this wonderful spot? We got to this spot from Chuck Schumer the Friday before Memorial Day weekend, who announced three things. One, we had been underway recon. And number two, the recon will end with a final vote by July 4th. And number three, it will end with a passage. Well, how did we get to that spot? We got to that spot with Jalapa as well. When Jalapa had written Schumer a letter saying, Chuck, call the vote on the recon. That's what we're now doing. Well, that letter was signed by 12 House Democrats, who are among the 100-plus House Democrats, yeah, you heard right, 100, who had written the president a letter a week earlier saying, Mr. President, we're going to be putting monthly stimulus checks into the forced stimulus package. Wow, now that's wonderful news. Can we top that? We can. When 7 House Democrats a week ago approximately wrote the president saying, Mr. President, when we go to write the forced stimulus, we'll be writing forced stimulus checks and they will be monthly. Who are these people to say that? What do they do for a living? Who do they say this to? Well, they're on the House subcommittee that's solely and exclusively responsible for writing stimulus checks in the U.S. Congress, House of Representatives. Wow. They wrote your first stimulus check. They wrote your second stimulus check. They wrote your third stimulus check. And they now represent, they're currently marking up the bill, that there will be monthly forced stimulus checks in there as well. Wow. Can we get better than that? We can. They also indicate they're doing a 5th stimulus check in there as well. OMG. And that's coming up in the second half of this video. Well, can we beat that? We can beat that with the president doing it. Biden does it. He went overseas internationally 2 Saturdays ago and anchored to the finish line an international agreement that now makes it easier to pass forced stimulus. Let me explain what that all is about. Forced stimulus is paid for by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate, to which the president has said he's worried, or he was worried, that if he raises the U.S. corporate tax rate, U.S. corporations may move overseas to find a country with a lower corporate tax rate. To which the president reached out to those countries with lower rates and said, hey, raise our rates. And they said, yeah, we'll do it. To which the president then reached out to his staffers and said, I like how this is going. In December, after we're getting ready to deliver some gingerbread houses, let's go to those countries overseas and have them sign on the dotted line. And if they do, then we'll remove the provisions for forced stimulus because we don't need them anymore. Well, then, out of nowhere, the president surprised everyone. 2 Saturdays ago, Biden did it. He went overseas and had those countries sign on the dotted line now, which anchors forced stimulus to the edge of the finish line because now those international provisions cover the international tax issues. He doesn't have to have them in a forced stimulus, making it easier to pass forced stimulus. And that is wonderful news. And can we top that? We can, with the third of your forced stimulus check update, with more breaking news you're going to hear for the first time ever on Noontime LA coming up after the commercial break. Also, the exciting details of what Jay Powell is saying about fifth stimulus and interest rates impact. That's also coming up. But is there something even more wonderful? Yes, the volunteers. If you need help with rent, utilities, mortgage, or internet, reach out to the volunteers. They can help you with that and also SNAP. They embody the true purple power. Viewers helping viewers. How do you find them? Open the description of this video. Go down to the description till you find an emoji of a house. Next to it, it says community page. Click the link and it sends you over to news.lalate.com/community. Has a picture of some kitty cats. Lower on the page are the volunteers. They're separated from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Reach out to them. Now, they cannot cook you a tostada. They cannot give you directions to Taco Tuesday. They cannot give you the insight to how Nancy does her hair. But they can do all those other things, and they're incredible. And here's a little bit about them. I'll be back in 60 seconds with huge, exciting details about fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus you're hearing for the first time on this noontime broadcast. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues on Noontime LA with breaking news you're going to hear for the first time ever on Noontime about your fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus. The heat is on, and I'm excited for you to join me. How's the weather where you are? And tell me where you're tuning from if you're just joining in the live chat. This is LA. Make sure you subscribe. 400,000 subscribers. Fastest growing cryptocurrency channel. Fastest growing channel on YouTube. Across the board. Next, expanding into stock coverage in the next few days. Hit that subscribe button right now. 400,000 subscribers on our way to 1 million. I want you part of this family. Like this video. 2,000-3,000 likes. Every like delivers extra apricot scrub facial rubs. I just don't know where that came from. And consider becoming a member. Let's get right into fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus is heating up with a lot of details across the board. Number one, there will be a fifth stimulus check. Those Democrats in the House have represented they're going to be doing a fifth stimulus check. This would be 2022, starting in January, going to a vote November, December, starting to legislate in September. Number two, the president has dedicated $1 billion to the Social Security Administration to ensure you get your checks quicker going forward. This includes fourth stimulus checks, fifth stimulus checks, and benefits checks. One of the viewers in the live chat in the commercial break said they switched from Direct Express card to Chime. Good move. I'm excited for you. So this is great news because the president saw the debacle that happened earlier this year. And I made certainly enough videos about Direct Express by Comerica. They were not sending out your checks. They were late. People on Chime were getting them earlier. So he's trying to streamline the whole process. Great news across the board. And then we turn to Jay Powell. Jay Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, testified on Capitol Hill again today. Last Wednesday, he testified on Capitol Hill, and he said inflation is warm, but that's fine. We can subdue that inflation, and it will be temporary. He also said there will be 2 interest spikes in 2023, not next year. What does this mean for your fifth stimulus? Jay Powell will never say inflation is too hot or red hot. He can't say those words. He's head of the Federal Reserve. But he is saying that the economy needs to be stimulated, and he'll continue to support stimulus, Fed stimulus of this economy all the way to December. This is huge news for both fourth and fifth stimulus because his position is you need to stimulate this economy all the way into the start of next year. Big breaking news. So let's go over how to analyze this fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus stimulus raises your benefits up and then applies that benchmark. You know that benchmark is inflation. You know inflation is going up. You know this is good news. But how high will the inflation rate be? Wall Street is now saying, based upon the consumer price index and the producer price index released in the last 10 days, that we may be at about 4% inflation right now. We're going up, we're going up, we're going up, and we're heading to about a 10% inflation rate at the end of this year, a temporary, or what they call transitory spike or peak, and then coming back down. Well, you want to hope that that rate spike is lined up perfectly for November, December. Let's go over how this calculates for your benefits across the board. For fifth stimulus, we start by raising up your benefits one big time. Then we remove the asset limit, then add the inflationary benchmark, remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. Let's go over some of the details with this right now. First, they raise your benefits up one big time for a big one-time lift. That's a fifth stimulus lift. This is you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, SSA, or multiple benefits. Then every December, they apply the benchmark for next year. It will be a new benchmark. You know that. And you know the new benchmark is inflation. And you know it's going to be a big number. But how big a number? Well, with them talking about potentially 10% as a spike at the end of the year before it comes down, you have to hope, one, they pass this bill, and two, that that spike hits right around November, December. Because if it does, your benefits would raise up at that potential rate of potentially 10%. Not just next year, but lifetime. Because the way that a benchmark works is it raises your benefits up, and once you're raised up, you never step down. It's wonderful, wonderful news. Then they're going to move the asset cap dating back to a 1980s law, says you can't have about $3,000 or more in your hand. Time to put those stimulus checks in your hand, and actually room for a taco as well. They're going to remove the income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. Now you'll be able to work if you wish and stay on benefits. And love is going to win. The marriage penalty will end. You'll no longer suffer marriage penalty issues or fear the marriage penalty. Viewers like Rob and Sandy will no longer fear the marriage penalty and will be able to marry as well. So there you go. Some of the questions I've been getting about this in the last 24 hours and some in the live chat just right now. It's important to note that does fifth stimulus go as an either or? No. So fifth stimulus is a fixing of the benefit system and it's addition to the stimulus check and addition to the fifth stimulus check. It's not in replacement. Second, does it cancel out something else? No. So someone asks if they do this, would it cancel out their SNAP? No, not at all. Additionally, people have been asking, how does this compare to the SS200? This is fortunes more than the SS200, which is not likely happening anymore. This is fortunes more because it raises your benefits up lifetime when SS200 was talking about a few months of checks. This is astronomically a lot more money. Fifth stimulus, fourth stimulus, third stimulus. There's a lot of money out there. And with third stimulus sending out thousands of dollars to viewers every day, how do you find out where your money is? By becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat and in the pinned comment. Members are delivered daily from me via the YouTube community page a breakdown of the money available for you under third stimulus. Thousands of dollars potentially. The money for fourth stimulus as proposed and fifth stimulus. It's important to understand that third stimulus has fortunes of money for so many viewers. That's why you have viewers getting $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. It's application based. It's not automatic. You don't sit back and just let it land. You have to do the application. But it's wonderful, wonderful news. When third stimulus was passed, I said, hey, you're going to get a third stimulus check of $1,400, but you're also going to be eligible for $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. So consider becoming a member, and daily I deliver that to you so you see what's in third, fourth, and fifth stimulus. The link's at the top of the chat and in pinned comment. Members have purple hawks next to their name in the live chat right now. Which brings us to the big finale of your fourth stimulus check update of 2021, the third part, with the details you're hearing for the first time on Noontime. Well, that voting bill is done. With that voting bill done, all the focus is now on fourth stimulus. Really helpful for you because suddenly there's less things to talk about. It's also good because it makes fourth stimulus front page news. And it's also good because it shows how the GOP really did a blockade, a block wall for the Democrats because it was not a recon bill voting. And now the Democrats are inspired, ignited to go do this recon process. It's important to understand what Bernie Sanders' comments were on Sunday, that I haven't yet seen a draft of the bill. What he's referring to is a draft of the bill. AOC talked about this a lot in 2020, and I detailed as well on when she said that often they have these bills and they just give it to you 20 minutes ahead of time to sign. So what you need to know is that the situation is still very much in flux. Time for more changes to happen. At any time that they're marking up the bill, which means that they have a pen with ink on one side and an eraser on the other, they're marking it up. They could be erasing something or they could be writing something in. So let's go over the 9 voting steps so you understand how they get from point A to point Z. And I'm going to go over some of the details you're going to hear for the first time on Noontime about these 9 steps. The 5, 7, and 8 steps are the most important, and the first 4 are the most unimportant. They're just procedural. All right, step 1, the House subcommittee calls the procedural bill for a vote. Step 2, the House floor votes on the procedural bill. Step 3, the Senate votes on the procedural bill. Step 4, the president signs the procedural bill into law. At that point, the tow truck is passed over the finish line. Time to go get the tow hitch, the substantive bill. Okay, step 5, important, very important. House subcommittee calls the vote on the substantive bill. The House subcommittee is the one that's been promising they're going to do monthly stimulus checks. They would have that back point finished marking up the bill, and they're ready to call it for a vote. We will see the bill at that point as they call it for a vote. There may be stimulus checks in there, or there may not be stimulus checks in there. Step 6, the House floor votes on the substantive bill. Okay, the critical 7 and 8 steps. The 2-day Senate vote-a-rama. Bernie Sanders is a senator. He's in the Senate. That's why he's saying, I haven't gotten it yet. That's when he gets the bill from the House. The bill from the House lands in the Senate. Over 2 days, during the 2-day vote-a-rama, the senators can amend. What are the possibilities? There are 3 of them. Possibility number 1, the House did not put stimulus checks in there. The senators amend and add them in there. Possibility number 2, the House did put stimulus checks in there, and the senators like it. They leave it alone. And possibility 3, this House put stimulus checks in there, and the senators want to amend it. And then, step 9, the president signs into law. At that point, the tow truck is passed over the finish line. As detailed earlier in this video, there are different ways to do the voting processes. People have been asking me about it. It's a great question. So there are different ways to do it. You can sometimes do the procedural voting 1 month and then take a few weeks off while you work on the substantive bill and then come back and do the substantive voting. Or you can do what Chuck did with third stimulus, which is basically just do all the voting together. Just do all this marking up day after day after day until you're ready to call the vote and do all the voting together. Of the 9 steps, which ironically could be 10 if there is an amendment at the Senate level, goes back to the House for just a quick last-second vote. They can do multiple steps on the same day, with the exception of the vote-a-rama. That does have to take 2 days. And there you go. Now, which brings me to fake narratives. On Evenings LALATE last night, there was a viewer in the live chat who posted something like this. I heard that a bipartisan group will announce a deal on Wednesday and have almost reached the deal. It was an untrue statement. I immediately deleted it, and he apologized. But here is what's fascinating about the situation. We're on fake narratives. The people that are in this 6-group person or 7-group people, they are absolutely making a mockery of themselves. Let me explain what they actually are saying. I can't even say it with a straight face because it's almost laughable. They did say yesterday, we've made progress. When are you going to make progress? 5 months after the bill's done. I mean, we've made progress. It's June. It's late June. I would hope you make progress now. But they said, we made progress. ... But, here comes the but we haven't figured out how to pay for the bill yet. And we haven't talked about that part yet. What? Are you kidding me? You haven't talked about how to pay for the bill yet? That's the hardest part of the bill. The hardest part of the bill is how to pay for it. Roads and checks is not the hardest part of the bill. It's how to pay for it. And they're like, well, we haven't talked about that yet. It's not like they haven't reached an agreement. They haven't even talked about it yet. So that shows the ridiculous of this. Who's to blame for this? The president. The president, as I call it, the peanut gallery, has not chosen to close the door on the peanut gallery, has allowed the peanut gallery to continue to talk. So down to the final day, you're going to have the peanut gallery talking, and they'll be making silliness of the situation, silliness of themselves, but they have nothing to do with the passage of the recon. They have nothing to do with the passage of the recon. Their silliness will not block the recon, but it will absolutely confuse the American people. Because the American people look at legislation in general and get confused. You see the detail of this video. It's legislation, passing legislation is confusing to start. Then I'm trying to explain a reconciliation process to you. Also confusing, trying to make it simple for you to understand. But then you have legislators trying to make the situation more confusing. And guess what also adds to the confusion? The naming of these bills. For some reason, legislators always choose really weird names for these bills and confuses people. Fifth stimulus this fall, the American Family Plan. But there's money in there for single people. And there's money for people who have no families and have no intention of having families. The third stimulus, the spring, the American Jobs Plan. There's money in there for people who don't have jobs, who don't intend to work either. The second stimulus in the fall, the continuing resolution bill, the federal budget. Guess what was in the continuing resolution bill to run the federal government? Money for foreign countries. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but that's what happens when you give names and titles to these bills where the name makes no sense. So for everyone that says, if it's an infrastructure bill, it doesn't have, yeah, you don't know anything. You're not listening, because it's always been that way. And it'll continue to be that way. And trust me, you get to fifth stimulus this fall with the American Family Plan. There'll be money in there for foreign countries as well. It has nothing to do with our families. So it's just how the way they do things. And so there you go. Finally, Purple Power. You've been doing a great job. One of the things I got to remind you is don't tweet too fast. Don't tweet too fast. So if you're on social media, do not tweet, every 2 seconds. Give yourself about a 60-second delay or a minute or 2 minutes. Don't tweet too fast. It could put your account on suspension for a few days, as that unfortunately happened to one viewer. But hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. Tag your senators, Democrats, and House members. Also tag your progressives, the Progressive Caucus leaders. And also retweet fellow Purple Power members' tweets or viewers' tweets. You find them by going on at the search section and typing in hashtag Purple Power or hashtag MSC. Very easy. And finally, if you don't do social media the old-fashioned way, picking up the telephone and call your elected leaders and express to them why you need stimulus. We know why, because of two major issues. One, Jay Powell will be testifying before Capitol Hill today and say, I'm supporting this economy with Fed stimulus all the way to December. He's doing it for fourth stimulus and he's doing it for fifth stimulus. He's doing support from the Federal Reserve all the way through December. Why? Because people's jobs are not back to normal. That's our second reason. On Thursday, the new jobless claims number was released last Thursday, and the number was bad. People's jobs are not back. And so with that, that's a lot of reason to continue to push for fourth stimulus, to continue the pushing. I'm next back with you at afternoons LALATE at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's a big show, so don't miss it. And then evenings LALATE, wow, that's going to be a big show tonight, 5 o'clock, followed by Overnight's Crypto at 5:30 and Evenings Crypto at 7. Overnight's Crypto last night was our most watched show ever, and thank you for making yesterday our biggest day of subscriber growth. But let's keep it going by subscribing right now. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you to subscribe and be part of the fastest growing community there is. Also, like this video. Every like helps in the algorithm ranking and delivers you a beautiful apricot scrub. I don't know. And consider becoming a member so you get delivered from me daily a breakdown of everything in third stimulus, fourth stimulus, and fifth stimulus, so you know the money you can get. Have a beautiful noontime, and I'll see you just a little bit after this with Afternoons LALATE. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LALATE for more.